Hey, what's going on? Caleb Rogers, the Mental Sensei. So I wanted to launch an Instagram TV, a longer format video for those because, just to be quite honest, I got a lot to say in a minute. One of those things is strategy. How are you working your strategy as an athlete, as a salesman, as a competitor? Now, for those who compete in mixed martial arts, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, I've kind of tailored this to you. In my mental mastery group, we've been discussing strategy, and you can become a part of that group if you go and purchase my Conquering Pressure series. It's available now, mentalsensei.com, $39, gives you access to this great group of people to be around, to bounce ideas off, strategy, and the like. In our study, we've been studying Miyamoto Musashi's Book of Five Rings, in particular, the Book of the Fire Scroll. Now, the Fire Scroll describes one-on-one combat that Miyamoto himself put together as a samurai duelsman. And if you recall correctly, he had over 60 victories as a samurai duelsman, samurai swordsman, and then went on to formulate his own school, the School of Two Swords. Really great read. Definitely encourage you to check it out. One of those strategies, I had to pick up on it because I really, really liked it, was called Becoming the Opponent. And it reminded me of my childhood in a different way. I'll tell you why. Every time I used to leave the house as I got into high school, my mom or my grandma, whenever I'd leave them, would say, "Caleb, remember who you are," and that would just echo to me as I was leaving out the door, and I would grunt or sigh, like, "Okay, I'll remember." And for them, it was a warning, right? It was like, "Hey, don't do anything bad. Remember who you are." And for me, it served as a reminder a little bit as I've gotten older. See, the whole strategy, Becoming the Opponent, is about learning to see with new eyes. Oftentimes, when we begin looking at our opponents, we begin to prescribe or ascribe to them attributes, things that are larger than life. Oh my gosh, they're a knockout artist. Look at Khabib. Look, he's just beat everybody. Look at Conor. And they begin to build until these characters become insurmountable, unstoppable even. Well, that creates a pressure on you when you do that. For one, you're making a monster out of your opponent rather than making a monster out of yourself. What do you think is the right course of action? Who would you rather have be the monster? Well, an interesting exercise that you can employ is to see with their eyes how you look. Have you ever tried that? Have you ever looked at yourself through the eyes of your opponent? How formidable you are? What kind of threat you hold? Do you see who you've trained with? How hard you've worked? How hard you've sweated? The muscles you built, the time you've spent, the strategy that you've employed. When you begin to see with new eyes who you are, what you're about, the suffering that you've endured, the conquests that you've overcome, it opens you up. And furthermore, it makes you more confident and more powerful, which is a relief of pressure. So I encourage you this week, see with new eyes. See yourself through your opponent's eyes, just how powerful you really are. This is the Mental Sensei, wishing you all the best. Take care. Peace.